this is Arielle Live TV, and I mess up. But anyway, Arielle Live TV from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. every Thursday. I was doing something, and Scott said 1, 2, 3. My technical director. Hi everybody. I know you guys are. Anyway, I have a lot of viewers around the globe. I want to say hello to Frances, and of course, her lovely friend Jackie. Jackie, hi, how are you today? I'm glad to talk to you, and I hope someday you can be here in my studio, or I can be there to have a show with you live inside of your office. Anyway, Francis, I'm hoping that we can go to San Francisco soon, and my kumari Leslie and all my family in the Philippines are watching right now. I know my brother is in the emergency room right now. I hope you're doing well, my brother, and of course my nephew Rodante, Dante, and the wife, and my niece, my niece Marian. She wants me to shout out her children. Let me see, hold on a second everyone. I want to shout out my family before I'm gonna introduce my lovely maybe he will be my co-host today. He is a journalist also. He's a lawyer. He's been running all over. He has many
I'm
talent.
tired.
He has many talent. Okay, Nisa Ramos. And hold on. Where is my niece? Alright, forgive me, my niece Marianne. I will call her. You guys later on. I'm trying to distract my own self. Oh, my lovely, my chef Jason Mercado. I love you too. Of course, Sweet Mission Cookie Company is based in Los Angeles. If you're looking to have a cookies, my dear friend, he is a chef. He is the owner of Sweet Mission Cookie Company, and it's very delicious. I'll be right back with you guys later on. I'm gonna shout out. I want to welcome my guest today, no other than Steve Shipman, and we're gonna talk about he is running as a congressional in Las Vegas, in Nevada. How are you today? I messed up today. I don't know why. That's so weird. I've never been like this before.
You know why? Because this week, starting Saturday, is early voting. So maybe you're
no
all tense.
No wonder. I'm so messed up today. Anyway, how are you today, sir? And welcome to my show, Arielle Live TV. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you love my show. And thank you for watching Arielle Live TV.
Thank you very much. And of course, I'm willing to take any questions from anybody. I don't shy away from anything.
So all of them can say anything
Sure.
you wanted to, right?
Good or bad.
Tell me about yourself. I know we talk about a little bit about you, that you were used to be a journalist also.
Still am, not used to. I do.
You're still
I'm still a journalist. I'm
he's
also
still
a lawyer.
a journalist, and he's also a lawyer. He has many talent like me.
It's a matter of fact, and it doesn't relate to the election, except for sensitivity. What happened during the shooting in October. I actually was covering the event for the BBC in the UK and on Irish national television. So I was familiar with what was going on. It was a tragic event. And it's interesting because I was asked about gun safety at that time. And even though the laws have stopped that type of shooting, you ask yourself, is gun safety sufficient where you can bring in 10,000 rounds of ammunition in a hotel room without being caught? That's another issue, but it shows some of the underlying.
Let's talk about you first before this story that you covered. You know, we rather cover you before others, right? Let's cover you first. Why did you run as a congressman? I mean, in your District 3, right?
District 3. I ran originally in 2016.
I'm messing up myself today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so excited. I guess I'm kind of messed up today because I'm feeling nervous about my nephew. I hope he'll be okay right now. They're watching. I love you guys. They are in Ramon Magsaysay Hospital in Iba, Zambales. They're watching right now.
Of course, because when you have family who is ill, that comes first. Priorities is take care of the family.
And also my son. Thank you, son, for watching. I love you, Jen, and my 2 granddaughter, of course, Lexi and Kailani. I love you both. And my daughter. Congratulations, Hayes Elementary School. My daughter's going to 6th grade. But anyway, I'm messing up myself. Let's go back to your
yes, but you bring up certain things which are very important.
Yes.
A community is family. And what you're showing right now is what's lacking in politics today. We don't see this feeling of community spirit, of family, of what's beneficial.
I like that, yes.
And that's important because it's not what's good for me or what's good for you, it's good for us. And you don't feel good until you know that your family is healthy and successful and doing the best they can, right? You have a feeling of outreach to help them. Well, a good congresswoman or congressman should do the same thing for District 3, to do what you're doing right now with family, because we're not just by ourselves. We don't live in a vacuum. And unfortunately, everything is polarized. I don't hear anybody saying to you, oh, as long as your family pays a hospital bill, I don't care about you. No, people care because they know how you feel, your emotions, your desires, what you're lacking, and what you're hoping for. And that's a common human trait.
Absolutely. I
And it
really
needs to be in
thank you for that.
politics.
But anyway,
Yes, and that's part of the politics. But you can't separate it. You cannot separate the way you look at family and community and what you do in the job.
So you do think so right now in politics we are separate because half are Democrat and half are Republican and others are independent.
Actually, District 3 is rather unique. Let's say around 22% are registered as independent or non-affiliated. 39% are Democrat registered and 39% Republican, which tells you that people aren't happy with the status quo. An example would be that Donald Trump won the Electoral College vote for District 3, but yet you have a Congresswoman, Jackie Rosens, who's a Democrat. So politics is not simply A, B, and C. It's much more complex. It's because the independents, those who believe in moderation, which I do, tend to be lacking a voice today, but they really are the decision makers. They really are.
Well, let's talk about you. Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about you. Why did you run for Congress? Why did you choose Congress, not the senator, not the consul, why Congress?
Okay, my background. First of all, I'm the only candidate who's actually worked in Washington for the Commerce Department. I actually advised members of Commerce. When I worked with USAID, the Agency for International Development overseas, I actually was involved in parliamentary assisting, helping drafting laws, including human rights, including health care, including civil rights. People here who are running for the office don't have that background.
Isn't it they've been saying that from the longest time, every candidate, that's their platform. Every candidate who will be running, who's running now, those are the same platform from day one. But do you think so some of them, they deliver, or it's being how do you call that?
Well, give me an example of what needs to be changed.
For example,
okay, an example.
Everybody wants to change the medical.
I don't. I say to improve. I don't believe in Medicare for all. Are you surprised? I'm a Democrat. I have Medicare. I'm not old, and I know what it's about. But let me tell you about how it works and what alternatives there are for the population. With the Obamacare in effect, Medicaid was expanded to everybody based on income, and that level was 130% of the poverty rate. So if you are in that category, no matter how old you are, you're covered for Medicaid, which is basically public health. If you are in the military, you have TRICARE, so that's covered also.
Correct.
If you are 65 and older, you have Medicare, that's covered. If you have a job, traditionally you're covered with insurance by the work. Now today that's changing, and now more companies are saying we'll give you it, but they'll put higher deductions and so forth. So what needs to be changed or reformed is parts of the healthcare system. Pharmaceuticals, for example, the cost of that, or the ability to go to a doctor without saying we don't take Medicare, we don't take this insurance or that insurance. Medicare for all won't work, and I'll tell you why financially. Right now, if you are self-employed, you pay 15% what they call self-employment tax, which 7.5% goes for Social Security and 7.5% goes to Medicare. If you are an employee, then that's split 50-50, excuse me, between the employer pays 7.5% and you. Now, you're paying that 15% into the fund, but you're not allowed to touch it until you're 65 years old. So you're putting in money for 40 years. It's not like you're getting benefits today. It is an insurance method where you're investing your money, and after 40 years, there's enough money in the pool to pay your benefits. Under Medicare for All, it's not only that they'll be covering everybody, but who's going to pay for it? Right now, Medicare, as it's set up, I'm investing money when you're younger, up to 40 years before you get the pool.
Correct.
If you start getting it from day one, who's going to pay for it? No one says that, do they?
No.
Okay. Another example which you typically read about is like minimum wage. They talk about it and talk
Yes,
about it.
let's talk about that minimum
Sure.
wage because it's got. Let's not do the commercial. We'll just go straight all the way to the second segment. All right, we're not gonna do commercial, so we're just gonna
Thank you.
continue. Anyway, so let's talk about that. We have to give you per question. Do your best so that we don't have much time. Okay, it's 10 minutes. All right, tell me about the
10 minutes for a politician, wishful thinking, but go ahead.
Let's talk about your how much do you think the minimum wage is here in Las Vegas? Anybody?
The question of minimum wage is this. Each state has the power to base its own level. For example, in New York, it might be $11 an hour. In a place like Washington, it might be 15.
That's what I'm
California,
saying
12.
here in Nevada.
So what I'm suggesting is let the state legislature decide its own state minimum rate. Okay?
Like
Don't
how
rely on
much?
Washington.
I know. How much do you think?
I would say maybe perhaps $10, $9 to $10, as opposed to the $8 now. But it has to be exceptions.
So you're not thinking about $12?
Oh, no, not now. It has to be evolved.
So you want to do the step like when
Step
I
by step.
apply for a job, after 3 months I get the raise, or after 6 months I get the raise, or are we looking into now $9 and then
But
when
why
it's gonna
are
be
you assuming that
$10?
most people work for minimum wage?
I'm
Do you
not
work?
assuming that.
Okay.
I'm not assuming that because some of my friends are making $15 to $25
Right.
an hour. I'm talking about the minimum for everybody.
The minimum just basically
It's
says
$8 now, right?
no. It's less than that in Nevada. Depends. If you have no benefits, it's something like $8.25, $8.30.
Yeah, $8.25,
And if
yeah.
you have benefits, it's $7.75, something of that sort. Now, the sad part about the state is when you look at how they promote it for investment, they say low taxes, a lot of labor, and it's very cheap to be here, to work here. What does that tell you? It means that they're saying, come here because people will work for less money. It's disgraceful.
Well, not really, because the economy now is growing because of we have Raiders are here, the hockey is here.
Right.
We have biggest sports are coming.
How do you
and we're
benefit
growing.
individually?
Well, I do real estate, so
No,
the
today,
market
today.
Well, I cannot answer that. You know
Of
why?
course not. Well, because because in reality you don't benefit that much. Sure,
Yes,
if you have
yes.
land in the center of Las Vegas, commercial property that you'll
You will
sell,
be benefits
of course
that,
you will.
of course.
However, if you are a typical person, Mr. or Miss John Q. Public, you're not really going to benefit. You think that the tourists are going to come where you live and they're going to help you, and they're going to go to the local store?
Of course not.
Of course not. The whole issue of minimum wage should be focused on companies that can afford it. We're talking about multi-million-dollar corporations that rarely are worried about income. So yes, they can pay $12, $15, $20. As a matter of fact, I'll give you an example. Macy's or Federated Stores previously in New York, in Chicago, they'll pay people $15, $18, $20 an hour or more. Here they'll pay minimum what they can get. Why? Because they can get away with it. Now, I come from the old school that if you're educated, you will get a better income because you can demand that. No one's saying that you have to work for minimum wage. I would turn down a job automatically. And if you need to take that job, you have to ask yourself, do you have the skills that are required? If you don't have the skills, they'll offer you less money. If you are in demand, you'll get more money. That's simply supply and demand. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. I think that makes sense. But let's go back to some of your platform.
Sure.
What else do you think is the best for our country or for our state, Nevada?
Well, that's a very large question. You have to be very specific.
Well, I'm talking about, you said the economy and the job.
Economic and jobs.
Yes.
We need jobs that are sustainable, that are high paying, and based on technology and education. It's an economy. It's an irony here, because Nevada, District 3, Las Vegas, ranks very poor. Did you know that less than 25% of the people here have a college education? How can you get a quality job if you don't even have the basic educational tools? There isn't a lack of opportunity here. There are plenty of schools you can go to. You can go to the community college, you can go to university.
UNLV, we have that.
Sure,
community
but what's
college.
stopping people from doing so? Why are people happy with not working with a
Lack
college
of
degree?
money. Lack of money. There's so many kids out here that they cannot even reach their college.
Do you really
because-
think so? How come you can make $100,000 being a valet, and yet a school teacher will only get $30,000?
Well, as you said, not enough businesses.
What
to
about
bring
priority?
here.
What about priority on the person? Now, again, I may sound like a Republican. I'm a Democrat because I feel like JFK used to say in 1960 when he gave his speech, election in 1960, and when he gave his speech in 1961. Remember this? He says, "And then my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." And what you can do for your country is get an education. Prioritize. You know what that means? Instead of spending $7 for a pack of cigarettes, or $8, or
They're
$15,
expensive.
or $10 for a pack of beer, or $15 a day for a 6-pack of beer,
Well,
use
the
that for
gasoline,
school.
the gasoline too is up.
That's right. So why not use that for school, for education? What's wrong with that? It's priority. Which is more important, having something today to satisfy you, or to have an education that will benefit you for your life?
So if you win on the primary and going to the general election,
Correct.
what is the first thing you're gonna do when you get to the White House?
I mean, if I won the primary and the general election, and I wouldn't be in the White House, I would be in Congress.
On Congress, yeah. It's still a White House.
Yeah,
Because you're gonna go there,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But the point
Still
is,
White House.
you have to be able to reach out across the aisle.
Now, what's
to be
your
able to work
first? What is your number one priority? You said to me, prioritize.
prioritize
What is your first prioritize if you win?
to be able to get people to speak to each other, and to be able to
then-
look.
But
That's
we've
the
been doing that from day
No, they
one.
haven't.
They can-
It's
they can
polarized.
even-
It's polarized.
They can't even get along.
They can't.
so.
You ask me what my priority is to get them together, to be
Okay.
able to say what you need and what I need are common. We have a common goal. Let's work together, for crying out loud. Don't say what's good for you is bad for me. It's not a zero-sum game where
Well, right now
I
they
win.
don't work together.
Do you think so?
No, they don't.
Okay, you asked what my priority is.
There
To
you
work together. Because at the end of the day, legislation is a long process. You're not going to get things overnight. Look at healthcare, 5 years, 10 years. If you're taxation, 20 years. Anything important can't be rushed. It requires a system of working together, working things out, having hearings, finding what people feel on their minds. So don't expect overnight promises. If they do, like someone would say, well, I promise to co-sign a law once I get in. That means nothing. All right? That's just rhetoric.
It's making sense, everyone. I know we have
I'm
a lot of
moderate.
rules.
I'm common sense moderate. It's the same thing, for example, on gun safety. No one's saying you can't have weapons or firearms, but have accountability, for example. If you have a car and you have a license that shows that you know how to use it, you took a driver's test. If you have a weapon, a firearm, shouldn't you be responsible for knowing how it works? Or shouldn't you be responsible for keeping it safe so
But
children
some
can't
of
access
them
it?
are using it abusively.
Of
They
course.
abuse their power when they have the gun. They go lunatic. They go on video or the television that's showing the bad things. That's why they become wow.
What can you do about that, really?
Well, then we have to stop
We live in a
selling the
democracy.
gun.
We live in a democracy, and unfortunately, with people who have mental illness, many of them are in denial, and you can't force somebody in a hospital. Do you want that? You want to be a police state that says, like the Soviets did, or the Nazis in World War II would say, you know what? You disagree with us, hence you must be crazy. Let's put you in a hospital.
Well, once again, this is Steve Shipman. He's running for Congress as a Democrat, and hoping to talk to him more. I know I have coming guests also, and they're gonna have a show here about TV. I'm gonna continue speaking with you later on outside continuously, so that people they're still gonna be watching. So we're gonna do live outside.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
How do
so
we do
because
that?
we have a lot, I show you.
Okay.
That's why the technology, World Central
Wow.
Broadcast Media, can you guys can watch me all over the world, and you guys can watch me on Facebook, and I will come back with you guys. I still have a minute, so we're gonna continue the conversation. I'm gonna bring one of the guests, and we're gonna go outside so they can be here. They're gonna try to have a show here in our World Central Broadcast Media.
Oh, they want the studio, so we have to go out.
Yes, we're gonna go.
That's
out.
politics.
Gonna go. Hi Ed, thank you for watching. I know he's in the Philippines, and Jean is here, of course. Did you read? Who is that? Okay. Hi Esther, I'm glad you're well now, and of course my nephew. I love you guys, and my brother. My brother is in a emergency room right now at Ramon Magsaysay Hospital in Iba, Zambales. And I know you guys are watching. Rod, my mom, my sisters, my son, all of you guys, I love you. And of course, my daughter, congratulations. She got all the awards yesterday. I'm so proud of my daughter. Hayes Elementary School.
Family
thank
comes
you.
first. Remember that.
Yes, thank you for taking care of my daughter and all the students, not just my daughter. So, Steve Shopman and I were going to be discussing more about his platform and what he can do to my country and to state of Nevada. So stick around, we'll be right back, and I'm gonna bring some of my guests. Thank you. Hold on a second, let me get them.